Out to you all. Something to think about over the weekend. Something that maybe can serve you in your engagement with your loved one, family members. We are in the seasons of holidays. It's winter. A lot of people feel lonely, and yet they're not completely alone. Something to think about. So put your seatbelt and let's go. One of the things I shared in the previous videos is about the difference between pain and suffering. If I move towards to healing and curing someone, curing is the destination. Fix me, right? Healing is how do I drive my car? How do I handle and manage life situations? How do I deal with problems? How I handle stress? How do I handle grief and emotional challenges? How do I handle disappointment? How do I handle discomfort? How do I handle vulnerability? This is the biggest muscles you ever, if at all, going to handle, manage, or face in your life. A lot of people are willing to talk about their problems, right? I have a problem. My mom, my dad, my sibling, my spouse, my best friend. How dare she? How dare he? And we'll talk on and on and on about problems. And as you know, in any business, if you keep talking about problem, you're only going to maintain problem. Same goes in a relationship. If you have a problem, you keep talking about the problem, you're going to maintain the problem. One of the reasons people go into counseling is because they want to hear a different perspective. Hopefully, they want to hear a different perspective. And a lot of people are really willing to do the change, really to confront their vulnerability. It takes time to understand that being vulnerable is not being fragile. Being vulnerable is not over the screen. I can tell you my life stories and you're going to flip and you will say, oh my God, how courageous she is. She's so vulnerable. And the answer is this is not being vulnerable. That's easy. I'm clicking something. You see me. I'm spelling all my wisdom and knowledge into this screen. Some hear it, some don't, some dismiss it, some don't. That's not being vulnerable. Being vulnerable, really, is about facing the person, the situation, and allow yourself to be vulnerable, to share your emotions with sense of integrity and sense of ownership. Being vulnerable means that I feel this way. You might not feel this way, but I do. Being vulnerable is also means that I create something in you that I didn't plan to. I really didn't mean to hurt you, but I did. And I take the ownership here by understanding that my actions, my existence, my communication or lack of communication did something, create something in your life. That is being vulnerable. And if you're really seeking for true healing, to liberate yourself, to really eventually cure you from whatever situation you dealt or you're dealing with, you need to allow yourself to be vulnerable. Part of the benefit of being in a healthy relationship is that you have two brains. It's your brains and someone else's brains. And you can hopefully learn to communicate. You don't just get the one. There's no perfect relationship. Whoever believes in that is living in an illusion. You made the one. You make the one. Is the one that you're willing and wanting to run the long distance. Same goes in a relationship of a family. Who is the one who you're running the distance with? Who is running with you? Over time, all the time, and not kicking you out of the house or dumping you or telling you you're stupid or telling you crazy just because they are not feeling comfortable, right? So we make the one, we choose the one, we grow with the one. And yes, we are vulnerable. Now, a lot of people might say, well, I start my spiritual journey, my healing journey by starting to journal. How much you can truly, really produce from your own self, how much you can be aware of the blind spot if you are the one who keep telling the story. So we do need that kick, that what I call the point of relation, to help you see things from different perspective. And if you're in a relationship, well, let's pay attention. Are you growing with that relationship? Are you deflating yourself? Are you being deflated, cancel, nullify, criticize? by this relationship. That's not a growing relationship. That's trying to squeeze into a size 0, and I'm not a size 0. So that can be handled for a while, but after a while you want to breathe. So this video is to help you understand first the difference between curing and healing, the integrity, the ownership, the responsibility about healing. What is really healing? And what do you need to allow yourself to be created, to drive, to understand the mindset, the intentions in that journey? You cannot heal if you cannot be vulnerable, and that's called being human. Nobody likes to look at his vulnerabilities, his ownership, how it's created by me. It's not easy. But what do you choose? To keep running away and put another band-aid, tell another story? Then you have to remember what's the other story you told those people, or you just maybe believe in your own lies. And that's okay too, if you are comfortable with it. No judging here. I'm here to wake you up, to help you see how much and to what extent you can change your life. So put the buckle, sit on, and drive your life to a space, to a place, to a destination when you are liberated, where you can create your future and you learn how to communicate and you learn how to express your vulnerability with sense of ownership. And that is freedom. So have a beautiful weekend. I will see you soon. Any questions? I'm here to serve. All the best. Bye-bye.